welcome to the first round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. Now this programme will feature the modifieds and the class winners. Celebrating 40 years, this famous event attracts international crews every year. It's the West Cork Rally.
Thanks, Siobhan. And with the cancellation of the Galway International in February, this event was the opening round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship, which runs over 6 rounds, covering not just the West Cork, but the Easter stages, the Rally of the Lakes in Killarney, the Donegal International and the Ulster Rally, together with the Cork 20. 14 stages in all to be traversed over the 2 days, a cold and breezy West Cork rally for the national class competitors. And so to the ceremonial start for this year's event for the national class, which includes the modifieds, Group N, 2-wheel drive or R2 class, historics and juniors, and some beautiful machines over the ramp, including the Darien T90 of John Dalton and the Ford Escort of Wesley Patterson, always a welcome visitor to Clonakilty in his modified Mark II.
Well, it's been a long winter, so we're looking forward to getting back out in stages again.
And you had a tricky incident a couple of weeks back?
Well, we've done a wee shakedown around Bishop's Court, but we ended up slipping off in the last stage, so rattled our copybook a bit, but no, it's just a shake the car down, so everything's good.
As Patterson rolls away, we caught up with Killarney's Rob Duggan, back after his World Rally exploits last season to compete in West Cork in his Escort.
Fantastic entry. Who's your toughest competition?
There's too many to name. It could be anyone out of 20 or 30 names that could win the national, so we'll have to keep it on the straight and narrow and see if we keep them all behind us.
It's a tough and demanding weekend, but Duggan, a former Motorsport Ireland Young Rally Driver of the Year winner, certainly has the pedigree. Before we got into the action, we paid a visit to the Clonakilty Park Adventure Centre, Clonakilty's newest family activity centre in the heart of West Cork. Located on the grounds of the Quality Hotel and Leisure Club, the Adventure Centre offers a host of exciting activities to choose from. It takes approximately 2 hours to complete the full course of activities: high rope course, climbing walls, 100-metre zip line and power fan jump. And one of those who decided to take the challenge was the 2017 national champion, Donegal's Kevin Eves, who's back to defend his title in his Toyota Corolla.
How are you feeling?
Good crack now. It's a bit something to do beside the hotel anyway.
But you're obviously taking this very, very seriously.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a big race today, so we'll see. It's a good way to wake up in the morning anyway.
Now to the action and the runs over the first 4 stages on a cold Saturday morning on the fast-flowing West Cork stages. But trouble before it started for Kevin Eves, who just couldn't get the car off the start line. The cause was a faulty fuel pump. He was able to switch to the spare at service, however he spun the Corolla, dropping almost a minute on the first stage, and after the opening 4 stages, the champion was 12th. Gary Kiernan reported that his hired Millington engine Proton ran well, but he found that the steering was very heavy for his liking. But nevertheless, Kiernan and co-driver Ryan Moore were second after 4, just 5 seconds off the lead. Kiernan caught Kevin Eves on that first stage when Eves made a mistake and spun the car. Kiernan got the word to slow down, but he didn't lose too much time as Eves had the presence of mind to reverse the Corolla into a driveway, and both cars made it through safely. The leader after 4 was the Welsh pairing of John Dalton and Winford Jones in the Darien T90 GTR. Dalton was 3 seconds faster than Kiernan through stage 3 to leave the pair split by just 4 seconds in the battle for the national lead, and he extended that to 5.8 seconds at the midway point of day 1.
It's quite a surprise, I'll be honest with you, but it's very challenging, a big challenge from in front of us, and we had a bit of problem with tyres on the last stage, so we're going on harder tyres and it's getting colder, and you just think, well, what's going to happen, isn't it?
Gary, hi. Your first time out in this car.
Yeah, we're second in the national, so I'm happy enough with that. We'll just keep trying to chase down John and see how that goes.
And is it tough, different techniques this time round?
Yeah, corner speed is faster, braking's better, but my Escort will be quicker in a straight line, but we just have to try and keep up anyhow.
A thumbs up, and behind the top two, Stuart Darcy and William Lynch in their Darien T90. After 4 stages, the pair were 51.1 seconds off Dalton's lead. That section of the road, which caught out Kevin Eves, also presented a problem for Darcy, sliding as he did on the mud thrown out by the cars in front. Fourth in the national class after 4 stages, Vincent McSweeney and Michael Carney in the Mitsubishi Evo 7. They were 18.5 seconds off Darcy's Darien. Here's yet another Darien T90, driven by Kevin Gallagher and co-driver Gerard Callahan. They were 9.3 seconds off McSweeney after 4 tests. Sixth after 4 stages, Frank Kelly and Michael Cody in their Ford Escort. Kelly has been rallying all around the world through 2017 and was happy to be back in Ireland despite that stall. Eugene Megan and Darren Mullen in the BMW 1M were 7th, with just 1.9 seconds off Kelly after the opening 4 stages. Donegal's John Bonner and Emma Cherry in their Ford Escort were 8th, a minute and a half off the Nationals' lead, but just over 3 seconds behind Megan. Bonner following in his father's footsteps.
What's so attractive about coming to Clonakilty?
I always used to like coming down. My father done it a few times, and I got to like it, watching it, and I just always said I wanted to do it. He was, I think it was 90 and 91 he done them. He actually led it a few times, but wasn't lucky enough to win it, but that happens.
Jason McSweeney and Anthony O'Connell were 6th after 3 stages, with problems on stage 4 in the Mitsubishi, and they were now 9th, but just 0.7 of a second behind Bonner. Rounding up the top 10 after 4 stages, Damien Tourish and Donal McElhaney in the Mark II Ford Escort. Problems though for Rob Duggan. Duggan started the stage with blue smoke emitting from his Escort and reportedly stopped 600 yards into the stage with a pool of oil underneath. Ed O'Callaghan and Keith McCarthy were 14th in the Ford Escort. They were also caught out by that slippery left-hander. And we go in-car with the pair.
Into crest, into 4 left, 60, cut 3 right over crest, go, 40 up, crest into 1 right, into 1 left over crest, into crest, 64 right in the pole.
Adrian Hetherington and Ronan O'Neill were 15th after 4 in the Ford Escort. Hetherington reckoned the suspension of his Escort was set too hard for the conditions. The leader of the 2-wheel drive or R2 class after the opening 8 stages and day 1 was the Ford Escort of Callum Devine, the Motorsport Ireland Young Rally Driver of the Year, and back from his exploits in Rally Sweden, where he finished 5th in the junior class.
Once you're braking, 100, 2 right, 100 now, 2 right, into 1 left, 2 right, into 1 left.
We're in Sweden that first time. It was cold. A lot different than we're used to, so our next one's in Corsica, so we're using this event here as a bit of a test.
Fantastic. And West Cork, I mean, the stages obviously are very tough.
Yeah, they're very tough, very fast, very committed, so yeah, it's good seat time for us, and we're happy enough as everything's going well so far.
Devine hopes to compete in a full junior championship on the world rally scene and is one for the future, no doubt. In fact, his Fiesta was a well-merited 11th on the overall standings after day 1. Second in R2 after the opening day was Stephen Carey and Nicole Roycroft in their Ford Fiesta, and 15th overall. Third in R2, William Crichton and Liam Regan in Peugeot 208. Crichton lost time in stage 2 when his Peugeot filled up with smoke. That transpired to be from the body protection rubbing up against the exhaust. And fourth, with day 2 and 6 stages to run, Cal McCarthy and Derek O'Brien in the Citroen C2. In the Group N showroom category, after the first day, the lead was held by William Maberty and Brian Daniels in their Evo 9. Brian O'Keefe and Sean Hayes held second in Group N in the Mitsubishi Evo 9. David Guest and Jonathan McGrath led the class at one stage, but they slipped to third as he had problems with a broken drive shaft. At the end of day 1 in Historics, the leader was Barry Jones and Ian Griffiths in the Ford Escort Mark 1. Jones, the defending champion. Second, Owen Murphy and Anthony Nestor in the top of Sunbeam, but it was close after 8, just 4.2 seconds off Jones. Third in class, Martin Doherty and Kevin Flanagan in their Escort, 17.5 seconds off the lead with day 2 to come. Fourth in class, Duncan Williams and Lion Williams in their Ford Escort. Fifth, Dennis Cronin and Helen Cronin. Dennis won the West Cork Rally overall in 2005 in a Subaru World Rally car. And so as we head to day's end, the top 3 in the national class after the opening stages. Gary Kiernan leads in the Proton. Kiernan gave it everything to the last stage to take the lead from Dalton, and overnight he led by 5.5 seconds. Down to second now, Dalton in the Darien. But he was happy enough. He'd have a chance, as the fast stages on day 2 would perhaps suit his car. Third, Frank Kelly in the Escort, but 2 minutes and 40 odd seconds off the lead, and disappointed with his tyre choice, even though he wasn't holding back.
Frank, fantastic to see you here in West Cork. Of course, this rally is very special to you.
Yeah, it's a great part of the country down here. Always get a good welcome. Club always look after us, and they always put on fantastic stages. We're enjoying them.
So here's your top 5 in the national class. Gary Kiernan leads. Second is John Dalton, ahead of Frank Kelly, Ed O'Callaghan and Jason McSweeney in 5th.
End of day 1, and what a great battle in the modifieds between John Dalton and Gary Kiernan, who's leading. We'll be back with more action on day 2 from the West Cork Rally.
Welcome back to the final 6 stages of the 2018 West Cork Rally and the battle for the national, R2, historic and junior classes. A battle royal for the lead in the nationals or modifieds between the Proton of Gary Kiernan and the Darien T90 of John Dalton. Just over 5 seconds separating the pair. Dalton's Darien just might fancy the faster flowing stages on day 2 of this year's event.
Day 2 of the modifieds at the West Cork Rally, and although it looks sunny, snow is forecast, which is causing a bit of havoc with the drivers as they anticipate tough conditions. Gary, you're leading the modified. It must be a great feeling. Different event this morning though than yesterday.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to snow, but hopefully to stay dry and clear. Some of the spots were dirty enough now with those cuts yesterday, but generally a good rally. We're happy enough with our day.
It's been a great battle yesterday, and I couldn't wish for a better start. It's like a dream really to be able to get back and just get into it straight away. We've had a brilliant battle, and today's going to be a big day, and you know it's going to be a battle.
So at 5 seconds behind Frank Kelly, do you think you can take him on and land the top 3 this morning?
It depends on the weather here this morning. I don't know if it's going to snow heavy or not, but look, we're going to give it a try anyway. We have this new engine in here and it's going right well now. Yesterday we were back to about 12th overall yesterday, but we got back up to 4th with a couple of good stage times there in the second half of the day, so we'll see. We'll play it by ear and see where we go.
The West Cork Rally is celebrating its 40th anniversary this weekend. In 2015, it became a full round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship for the first time. It's now well established in the 6-round series. Well, here's one man who's taken more than a keen interest in the West Cork Rally. That's Jerry O'Mahony, who's contesting an astonishing 37th event.
Jerry, 37 years ago, it was a very different rally. Was there still the same banter, still the same feel?
There was. Oh, still the same old crack, even more so that time because it was a novelty at the time and there was nobody doing it. And now there's so many different things on. There's so many different attractions. People can go and do anything. But now it's still very good. Still very good.
John Dalton shrugged off an overshoot and spun as Darien to set fastest time and draw level with Gary Kiernan for the lead after stage 9 Ardfield. But Kiernan responded well and charged back into the lead, and after 11 his advantage stood at 24.5 seconds. Dalton's cause wasn't helped when the intercom in his Darien gave problems, and that spin would have not helped his ambitions. It will be tough now for the Welsh driver to close the gap over the remaining 3 stages. Frank Kelly's third place in the Nationals came under threat as his Escort suffered a broken exhaust manifold and was down on power. And he would eventually retire. We also lost Ed O'Callaghan and Keith McCarthy as their Ford Escort expired on stage 9. The pair were absolutely flying. Callaghan had started the day 4th in Nationals, but his Escort would not reach the stage end.
Caution, slow. 3 left in over crest of the pole. Into turn 5 right. 3 left in out of the pole into turn 5 right. Lovely. Bail inside. 170. Long 5 right of the pole. Long 5 right of the pole. 130. Keep right. Over crest past the junction.
A big spin on Ardfield sent the Escort crashing through the tapes, and although they got going again, the car was eventually retired. Third now, John Bonner and Emmett Sherry in the Ford Escort, but they were almost 3 minutes behind Dalton. Up to fourth, Jason McSweeney in his Mitsubishi Evo. Kevin Eves was keeping the pressure on, although he did cook his brakes in his Corolla. Nevertheless, he had moved from 12th at one stage, and with 3 to go, he is now 5th in the Nationals. Eugene Megan and Darren Mullen were 6th in the BMW 1M. A problem, though, for Damien Tourish in the Ford Escort. On a tight left-hander, he pushed a little too hard and ended up in a ditch. With more than a little help, he managed to get going again, and after 11 stages, he was 9th. Just outside the top 10, Phil Collins and Adrian Deasy in the Ford Escort, one of many Welsh crews that make the journey across the Irish Sea to contest the West Cork Rally annually.
Phil, you've been coming here for over 25 years. You know, very special year this year, 40-year anniversary. What's the attraction?
Well, the attraction is the rally, the stages, the people, the friendship, and it's just a great place to be.
Best roads in the world, I think, to do any tarmac rallying on. Proper stages, brilliant competition. It's just good crack, you know. We come back every year and we're enjoying.
And here are some more of the Welsh crews enjoying what West Cork has to offer time and time again. And before we get to the overall national Group N, historic and junior victors, here are the class winners from this year's West Cork Rally. Class 6, the winner, after early trouble on Special Stage 1, John Coyne and Stephen Joyce in the Porsche 997. He won Class 6, eventually battling their way through the cold wintry conditions to take class honours. Class 9 was won by the Opel Corsa of Ronald Doherty and PJ O'Dowd. Class 10 went to Michael P. Kelleher and Irla McCarthy in their Ford Escort. Class 11F won by the Honda Civic of Cathal McCarthy and Bernard Foley. Class 11R victors, a Ford Escort driven by Paul Fitzgerald and Pierce Donaghy.
40. One leg over sand. 130. Long one left, 100. At the top, tight 3 right. Repeat, tight 3 right. And 1 right over crest.
Class 12 went to another escort, driven by Declan Campbell, navigated by Kevin Cregan. Class 13 went to Jason O'Mahony and Jonathan O'Mahony in their Ford Escort Mark II. While the Honda Civic of Gary Kelly and Mark Hurley won Class 22. Third in the junior class, Mick Lonergan and Shane Corcoran in their Honda Civic. Second place, Colin O'Donoghue and Donna Crowley in a Ford Escort. The winner, Gary McNamee and Brian Brady in a Honda Civic. Eventually, their winning margin was 8.4 seconds. Top 3 in a Storage, Duncan Williams and Lion Williams in their Ford Escort. Barry Jones led early on, but he had to be content with second, with co-driver Ian Griffiths in their Ford Escort. The winner, Owen Murphy and Anthony Nestor in their Talbot Sunbeam. The winning margin in the end, 21.6 seconds.
Owen, how special is it to walk away with winning the Historics?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's the first time in many years that a Sunbeam has won a rally right up against some of the best karts around, best S-karts around. So we're delighted. We're onwards and upwards. It's only the car's second rally and we're right on the pace already. So a bit more fine-tuning now and they'll find it harder to catch us.
Turning to Group N and third, Brian O'Keefe and Sean Hayden in the Evo 9. Second, the early leaders, David Guest and Jonathan McGrath in their Evo 9, almost 40 seconds off the winner, which was William Mavety and co-driver Brian Daniels in their Mitsubishi Evo 9.
It's only your second time competing here in West Cork.
Yeah, second time here and really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it last year and that's why we decided we'd come back this year. So, no, it was one of the better ones on the calendar last year.
The R2 or two-wheel drive class, and third place, Cal McCarthy and Derek O'Brien in their Citroën C2. The Ford Fiesta R2, driven by Stephen Carey and Nicole Roycroft, finished second in R2. And no real surprise with the winner, Callum Devine and co-driver Brian Hoy, bringing home their Ford Fiesta R2T to top the podium.
It was a good weekend all round, and we're happy. Obviously, they won the class. It was yeah, a good boost for us and good boost for confidence for next round.
And our top 5 in the national class. John Bonner had to be content with 5th place in the Escort. In 4th, Jason McSweeney had a steady West Cork. He was 4th on the national standings. Dropped to 12th at one point, Kevin Eves recovered to take 3rd, and maximum modified tarmac points went to the Donegal driver as a result. A second place for John Dalton in the Darien. The Welshman is not registered for the championship, although he seemed to be enjoying his run over the West Cork stages. Gary Kiernan is not registered either, but he was more than happy with 1st place in the Proton and a winning margin of over 2 minutes.
Gary, congratulations, winning the National and a brand new car. You must be feeling over the moon.
Yeah, I'm delighted with our result now from the weekend. We weren't expecting that at all. We decided we'd come down and see how we're going and see who we were racing. We didn't expect to be up as far, so I'm happy out.
The top 5 nationals then in the West Cork Rally for 2018. Gary Kiernan wins ahead of John Dalton, Kevin Eves in 3rd place, Jason McSweeney in 4th and John Bonner 5th. The top 5 in the championship after round 1. Kevin Eves has taken maximum spoils. 2nd is Jason McSweeney, John Bonner is 3rd, Eugene Megan 4th, Damien Tourish in 5th place.
What an achievement for Gary Kiernan, winning the National in his brand new Proton. Now, after 40 years, the West Cork Rally has proved once again that it's got what it takes. It's one of the best rallies in Ireland. From all of us on the Sports, bye for now.